Freddie. Very cheeky. He has a great smile, and everybody says that.
Freddie is cheeky. Yeah, cheeky, bubbly,
smiley,
yeah,
fun.
lights up a room.
He does.
He's just a character. He's our Freddie.
You being cheeky?
Rich?
Yeah.
Freddie's fantastic. He's been like a serious success at S Club. He's started to really take a good role in everything we do. So he joins in the games. He can lead some of the things we do. He's built up a couple of relationships with two of the shyer young people. He works really well with them and he brings them out of themselves, which is great.
So at 27 weeks, I had a scan and they said to me, oh, there are a few little bits that we're not quite happy with. You're going to have to go down to Vancouver, a women's hospital, because where we lived, it was kind of like in the middle of nowhere, so, as such, so it had kind of like a little hospital, and I was like, okay then, So we went down there and they said, okay, unless you want the test, then, so I didn't. So basically it was 50-50.
In his early years, actually, he was very confident. He's always been cheeky. He was born in Canada. We were in British Columbia, which is a province, and he did just the usual. We went to little clubs and things, but nothing like 21 together. They don't have that sort of thing in Canada. And then we moved to Alberta, which is another province in Canada, and it was a whole completely different ballgame. So they had like a child education centre. So at 3.5, he was going on a bus. It was literally only like 5-10 minutes up the road, but it was more to build confidence and independence at that young age. About 5.5, 6, because obviously they start late, he went to school. I could have kind of like left him another year, but I just thought, you know what, I think he's ready, because he was quite confident in that respect. Obviously over here, you have to have the educational health plan, which obviously I didn't realise. When he started school in Canada, I registered him. He went into a mainstream school. He was in class with the other kids, and he had a one-to-one like they do here. They do have what they call like a resource teacher that's in the school that deals with the kids with special needs, and they have like a classroom, so if they're getting a bit anxious during the day, then they go down there and they have a chill out time and things like that, and as a parent and a teacher in a one-to-one, we basically discussed his program for school. It's between like the three of us and what she thought and what I thought and things like that. That's how it was done in Canada. Yeah, he was there till he was like 11. So see, that year that we moved, he would have gone up to high school.
I wasn't quite sure about coming back to the UK, to be honest. My husband was homesick, so that's the only reason why we came back. I wasn't worried about coming back because I knew that because Freddie's character, I knew that he could deal with it, in some respects. I was a bit worried about the schools. I know what schools are like, and I just wasn't sure, because he hadn't grown up in England. I just wasn't sure how they would accept him. But then I knew that he would just get through it. We'd all get through it. The one thing I would say, which actually I didn't do, and the only reason was I was quite blasé about it because I didn't know, because I was coming from a different country, is the schooling and the educational health plan. Because for me, that was just an absolute mind blower. I just didn't quite get the whole thing until obviously Joe and other people telling me. I was like, wow, that's kind of like exhausting. It is. It's just, and you kind of like have to fight for everything. You know, and I put Freddie into a mainstream school when we came because he was in a mainstream school in Canada, and I just thought, oh well, that's fine. He seemed to be doing pretty well there. I just you know, and I think for me as well, put him in a specialist school. I hadn't looked into it. I just thought, yeah, I'm just, maybe it's just me. I'm just not sure about that. But now I wish I had, because Freddie was in mainstream school for a year and a half, because that's no, really 2 years, but it took me a year and a half for me to move him. After fighting, because he wasn't in the right place, and I knew that literally after 6 months of him being there. I just said, oh yeah, this is just not right. Then obviously I tried to get him in a special school, and I said I had to fight for it. Now he's in a special school, completely different child. Now I know that when he used to come home from school in a mainstream school, he would be anxious, but I didn't really see it. I kind of like didn't, but I didn't. And of course, when he comes home from a specialised school, it's completely different. He's relaxed. He's just, like I said, just a completely different child. And I'm not saying that that's for every Down syndrome kid. This is just my, you know, because when we came here and we were trying to think, okay, so what should we do? We just thought, like mainstream. In Canada, where we live, they didn't have specialised school, you see. So we didn't even have that knowledge.
I don't want to see you.
On the internet, actually. When we came back, I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to scan everything. You know, I was just looking on websites and things like that. And I just kind of like fell in, and I was just like, okay, oh yeah, no, that's near me. It's not too far away. It's like, wow, you do all this stuff, but I wasn't quite sure how it worked, you know. So then obviously I got in contact with Jo, and she's helped me so much. Like I said, with my educational health plan, which I didn't realise that you had to have. Because I looked at it, they sent it to me, and I was just like, okay, so what do I need to do here? I was just like, the wording was like, okay, I just didn't know. So I'm like, Jo, help me, please. So thank goodness, to be honest, that you were there. And as he's got older, the confidence, it has gone, obviously, because of his difficulty with his speech. Plus as well, he's had trouble with his hips, and he's basically like an old man in a young person's body, bless him. And he's dealt with it really, really well. So I think that a lot of that is his confidence has been knocked out, because, you know, I don't think he quite understood that he is different, you know, because he hasn't been with a lot of Down syndrome kids. Like I said, in Canada we did have that, but it wasn't like this, like every week, you know, there was things going on, and I knew he would be okay, but I knew it would take him a long time to feel comfortable and to get that confidence. Well, actually, you know, it is, oh, actually, yeah, I am, you know, these kids are just like me, and just build the confidence really, in saying that it's okay, you know. So yeah.
And he was very quiet.
Quieter.
Yeah, wouldn't move from the seat. Would just sit for the whole session.
Once he
say.
sat down and
Yeah.
had his place, he was comfortable there.
Yeah.
And it was hard getting him engaged.
He didn't want to join in, didn't want to socialise with anyone.
When I first met Freddie, he was really, really shy. He didn't want to get involved or join in with any of our activities. He would tend to just sit and watch, and didn't want to get out of his chair.
He's totally settled in. I mean, you know, he knows everybody and says their name, and he chatters away. I don't totally understand all of it, what he says, because his speech is still a little bit sketchy in some areas. He has well of times. And the thing is as well, which is nice, they all, you know, you guys, you know these kids now. So you know how far you can push them, And if they're having a bad day, then, you know, it's just like, we'll just play games then, you know, we won't have that. Over the last two and a half years that we've been here, his confidence is just really starting to come through, and it's just, like I said, Freddie's a very slow burner, but we've noticed how much, you know, Together 21 has, well, it just helped us all, to be honest.
Over the last year, he's changed immensely. And the fact that he's really built his confidence, and he wants to join in almost all of the time. And he's speaking now. For the first month or two, I knew Freddie hardly said a word. And now he's using loads of language, which I know he's always had, but he hasn't been confident enough to say. And now he's speaking a lot, joining in, and seems much more confident.
His confidence.
Yeah.
It's just so bubbly now,
Yeah.
isn't he?
He gets up, he loves, we noticed it at the Christmas disco, is when we first noticed the big difference, when he got up and just danced for the whole 2 hours, which was amazing. And he now, joins in, he's doing the Smiles programme, he's doing everything.
Yes. He may say no, first of all. If I say to him, oh, yeah, kind of like, go and get ready, we're off to like S Club. He goes, oh no. And then you can see there, he's sitting and he's thinking, oh, actually, yeah, I do want to go, actually. And then he just goes up and he just goes and gets ready.
We've been doing various group activities and games where the young people have to follow the rules of the games, join in, accept when they lose and win, and work in a team. And Freddie likes working in a team, which is a very nice part of him. And then we've been doing role plays about proper things that you might do in the community, either if you're on work experience or if you're in a shop or whatever, and we role play these. And Freddie's really good at following the instructions and doing these bit by bit activities, and he's come on really, really well.
Oh, totally, yeah. My husband obviously comes a few times when I drop Freddie off, but it's nice to hear other people's stories as well, and you just feel that you aren't alone. Although our story, most of our stories are different in some respects. It doesn't matter what age the kids are, all the mums and dads, we all chit chat and think, it's like I said, it's just quite nice. It's just, you don't, like you said, you don't feel alone. Like I said, for me, they've just been an absolute godsend, to be honest. Everybody's made me and Freddie, especially, well, I mean, obviously Freddie, they've made him feel welcome. But just made him feel welcome. Like I said, we've met other parents. It's just a nice community, and it's like, and there's so much going on, not just on a Saturday with like the S Club. It's like you have days out, get kids interacting, they form friendships, I mean, but all of us do live quite far apart from each other, but it's quite nice, these 2 hours that you have, you can have a cup of tea, come sit down, just, have a chat. If you had a bad week, then these people understand. And you feel better when you come out.
I think Freddie's got the possibility. Freddie could do all sorts of things in the future. I think his understanding of how to behave in different situations is really, really mature. I think his language is getting better and better. His communication with everyone's getting better, and I think that he could be really independent. Actually, he could definitely hold down a job. I hope he gets a good college place in the next couple of years, and I think he's got the possibility to do fantastic things.
There's a tendency for people to underestimate just how much he can do.
Yeah.
So I hope that those attitudes of other people can change so that he can continue to grow.
I would just love Freddie to, when he's older, to maybe have a couple of friends. I'm going to get emotional now. Have a nice little job, like part-time little job. Just be happy at the end of the day. all these kids struggle. Like you said, they are all different in their hardships that they try and get through. As parents, we can only try and help them, like bring them to clubs like this, to try and just get them, you know, this is why we do it as parents. We try and just get them to be involved and just try and have as normal life as they can. Hello. How are you?
Freya.
Can you say goodbye to everybody? Bye. Bye. Bye, Freddie. Bye. Bye.